What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to Meditations. Appreciate you guys and gals for coming by. Like this video if you will. Subscribe to the page and swat that bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And blessings to my patrons. Links in the description below. So, I'm sure some of you have heard of this. A lot of you who follow my channel know about this stuff. The whole millennial reign thing. You know what I'm saying? And I mentioned this before, but this is the Christian religion stuff, okay? I didn't know about the millennial reign until a pair of Jehovah's Witnesses came to my door. And I don't have a real job, so I'm kind of a hustler at home, all right? Thank you guys for your support. That's part of the income. So I was willing to listen. Yeah, I'm like, okay, so yeah, the preconceived notions is don't listen to anything they have to say, right? But I let them in. I was like, what the hell? And they started coming like once a week. And then I even went to their church thing. Of course, I don't like it anymore. I started to realize, it's like, oh yeah, I only went twice to their church, or was it once? I think it was once, actually. And I started picking up on it, how their donations don't actually go to the community, like how it was supposed to be, apparently, from the book of Acts. It works against big government, basically, the whole Christian movement thing, because it's a commandment by their God to give what they don't need back to the community and help those who are weak and help the sick and visit the widows and take in orphans. You know what I mean? All the things that the government rather tries to get in on. So if everybody would do that, then there'd be less need for big government, you know what I mean? Which I think is why historically the commies would always try to pull out Christianity first, you know what I mean? They try to take that away because it works against that. Why am I talking about that again? It connected. So with that being said, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I dislike Jehovah's Witnesses is because of that. And they give all their money, that's where I was going with this, that they get from donations to the church. It goes to their watchtower in New York, of all places. So what does that tell you? Yeah. All your money from your community, they just ship it out to New York. So on one hand, oh yeah, it's interesting. They go from door to door and they try to spread the word of Jesus. But then it's not kind of interesting because if they actually get you to be a part of their movement, they're just going to make you a proselyte like themselves who pretty much just tax the people in the community and send all their money to New York. It's like, what the hell? Not even necessary to mention how Jehovah apparently wasn't even how the name God sounded when they would say it back in the day. But yet they tag that as their movement's alias or whatnot, kind of implying that that was the name of God. It's just odd, isn't it? Apparently that's not how it sounded when they said it back in the day. All right. Didn't they have the YHWH thing and however you say that? I don't really know. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't Jehovah. That's not how it sounded when they said it. So why the hell do they call themselves that? And the whole taking away the deityism of Jesus or whatever. But I mean, yeah, we're not talking about the Jehovah's Witnesses here. But my point is I was willing to listen for a minute, and they brought up the whole millennial reign thing that is in the Bible. That was the first I kind of heard of it many years ago. But of course, they were working under the premise that it was still coming. Like this whole millennial reign thing is just around the corner. all the time. Just like how Jesus' return is just around the corner. You know, whatever they've been telling us for however we stand it to be 2,000 plus years. From the info they've been giving us. I don't know. Maybe the timeline's messed up. Maybe it hasn't really been 2,000 years. But I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like our family generations, at the least, we can track those a little bit, right? And yeah. Folks have been saying the whole Jesus coming back for a long time, to say the least. So the millennial reign thing, yeah, so I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting. It's in the Bible. Okay. So I kind of left them after taking a few things, and that was one of them. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Okay, thank you. Now get out of my house. Don't really want to talk to you guys anymore. I told them that. I texted them. I said, hey, I don't really want to talk to you guys anymore, but yeah, thanks. Just after I realized those things, I didn't want to try to pull them out of it. I was like, why the hell would I try to pull you out of it? I don't want to waste my energy on that. I don't know if I actually ever told them the reason as to why I was no longer interested in their movement. I did question them. I was like, I questioned them in the whole thing. Why do you call yourselves Jehovah's Witnesses if that's not really how it sounded when they said the name of God? And he didn't have an answer for that. But I mean, that's the least of my concerns. You know, it's not that important. And they were so insistent that Jesus died on like a stick or something and not a cross. And I mean, why do you got to push that so much? You know, what difference does it make? We're not supposed to put an image to God anyway, right? So, I mean, I don't really do the cross necklaces and cross on your wall or this or that. I mean, I do have one in this house, but that's just because it was put up a while back, and I don't really care. You know, I mean, I know that God seems like it's not going to send me to hell, right? Let me know in the comments below. But the whole millennial reign thing, then you got these guys, and I started hearing these videos some months ago that conspiracy, what's his name? Conspiracy something or another. I can't remember. I always forget the damn name. The guy's name is Paul on there. Conspiracy Explained. Understanding Conspiracy, I think. Yeah, Understanding Conspiracy, I think is what it's called. And so I started listening to his videos. After I heard it from someone else on YouTube, or even Facebook for that matter, this guy saying, oh yeah, millennial reign never already happened. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? At first glance, I'm like, no. But I still, just like the Jehovah's Witness thing, I was willing to listen to it, you know? Because it's like, I know a lot of us just repel listening to anything that we've been told and pre-assume is just bad, bad, bad. So I was like, okay, maybe it'll give us a little bit of time to see what they have to say. And of course, they pointed the whole Tartaria thing, the old beautiful buildings, this and that. And they point out the scriptures. So look what Jesus said. He said, the hour is near for those who are, you know, not married or whatever, stay that way, this and that. Or that's what Paul said in the New Testament anyway, because the hour is nigh. He was pretty much telling them, don't even get married now because Jesus is right around the corner. And we're to believe now that was 2,000 years ago. Like how many generations happened after he told them, don't even bother getting married anymore because the hour's nigh. You know what I mean? And how the red letters in the New Testament, Jesus said, this generation will not pass until all these things come to fruition. He says, you won't make it through all the towns of Israel before all these things happen. He said, some of you will not taste death before I come back. And he says, you'll see me coming back from the sky, da-da-da, even those who pierced me. So like those folks were still alive. You see what I'm saying? Where, I mean, it sounds like it could add up. I mean, I don't really know what I believe in terms of all that. All right? I'll be honest with you guys. More honesty videos coming up on this stuff. But I don't really know what I believe in that. I'm just putting it out there. I mean, I'm curious what you guys have to say about this. I mean, for a minute, it really opened me up. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I was kind of on fire over the whole thing. And I made some videos on this channel. And it was like really exciting, you know, to be like, wow, another big thing that we've been lied to, this and that. And wow, we're figuring it all out. Which can, of course, be a dangerous place to tread, right? You feel like you're figuring it all out. But you see what I'm saying? But here's the interesting part. So they say, oh yeah, the millennial reign happened, da-da-da. They made the Tartaria, da-da-da. The Dark Ages, yeah, that's what they tell us. That's what it is today. But those are really the Light Ages. It's just another inverse of things, another deception, another whole Isaiah reference of left is right, up is down, good is evil, da-da-da. Which makes sense. They're doing a lot of that crap, aren't they? Just look around. Doesn't it seem like today there's a lot of the whole up is down, left is right, good is evil, da-da-da. The powers and principalities of the world, which brings me to this. What it says in the New Testament is, after that millennial reign, Satan will be given power for a little while, all right, to deceive the nations. So God's given them this. God's allowing for that. All right? And what would happen with the world if Jesus came back and then God said, okay, Satan, here you go. I'm going to give you the power to deceive the nations for a while. What do you think would happen? Well, it seems like one of the first things they would do is he'd probably pull it away, the whole notion that Jesus already returned. You know what I mean? If he were given power to deceive the nations, that'd be a bit of a problem, wouldn't it? If Jesus is still chilling right here, everybody could see him. Healing power, eternal life. What's Satan going to have on that, The falling away of the curse. What's Satan going to have on that? So it seems like if he's given power to deceive the nations, one of the deceptions could be hiding the fact that the millennial reign already happened, because of course then everyone's going to believe in Jesus. What if that's the case? That's Revelation 20. Look that up. Are you kidding me? If he was given authority by God, don't you think that's what he would do? One of the first things would be like, okay, I need to go after their faith and stuff. Because faith in in Jesus is what moves mountains. You know what I mean? He says, if you have faith greater than that of a mustard seed, you will do greater things than what I have done. You of little faith. And he said you could tell this mountain, move, and it'll move. You'll heal the sick. You'll receive healing power. You'll be bitten by serpents and you won't die. You'll drink poison and you'll be unaffected. You know what I mean? So apparently faith is like a big deal. So it seems like if Satan were given power to deceive the nations, he'd probably go after the faith. And how do you go after the faith? Well, you hide maybe the fact that Jesus came back. I don't know. Doesn't it kind of seem to fit? Then you turn on the news, you turn on all that other bullshit. You watch TV, you watch a movie. It's just constant warped, up is down bullshit. I just don't even watch any of that stuff. Then they got the woke Olympics and all that. This stuff is just endless, And you guys have seen it. In academia, entertainment, news, music. It's all just infiltrated. It's all garbage. It's all trash. It's all shit. I got to go help my bird in just a minute. But you see what I'm saying? But where I was going with this is, this guy, I was watching the video that he made today, that Understanding Conspiracy, and he was talking about the whole alien deception thing and how they've kind of programmed everybody to accept that we're not the center of the universe or whatever, and there's aliens way out there. And they got all these invasion movies, Independence Day, the big mothership hovering over the world, everybody looking up in the sky, just terrified. And they're always the bad guys, and it brings the world together to fight that single foe. Just like how Ronald Reagan said something like that. How, wow, what if we did have to fight a foe outside of this world? How that would bring everyone together. Like they've been programming us to think that. You see what I'm saying? And then in Revelation, it talks about the Gog and Magog and rallying up all the nations to go and fight the camp of the saints, where Jesus is after the whole millennial reign, apparently. And this guy in the video saying the camp of the saints is somewhere in like the North Pole or some shit. Or the South Pole. Or it's in ice. Or at least it's in what they tell us is ice. But maybe it's a bit more habitable. Is that how you say that? Is that interesting? I mean, so he said, yeah, this is the time when Satan's deceiving the nations, and they got all the cameras. They don't have it on that area, and it's all quarantined off. You can't go there, but that's what Jesus is. Northern Lights, this and that. And what they're preparing us for is the whole thing where the city starts appearing to everyone, and it's like floating in the sky, like what it says in the Bible, how the new Jerusalem or whatever will come floating down from the sky. It'll come like descending or something. And it could be a slow thing, it could be doing that for like ages. And it gets closer and closer. And that would almost make sense because God, it would seem, like how Isaiah in the bush, if he were to look at God, it would have killed him. He fell flat on his face and he like almost died from the presence of God. And God was like even hiding in a bush, you know what I mean? So like... maybe that's why it has to be such a slow dissension, you know what I mean? Which is kind of interesting, actually. So yeah, but the problem is now the deceivers of the world and Satan are going to say, yeah, there's a mothership of these aliens, and we need to wage war against it. This is it. This is what we've been preparing you for, is these alien invasion. So we're going to be looking up and we'll be seeing the whole thing. And they prepared us with like Avengers, right? Like I got to watch the Endgame. I have the Infinity War that I just watched finally on my Blu-ray system right here. I'm in my home theater right now. I rarely ever watch movies. Like I said, it's a bunch of woke garbage, but sometimes I do. Okay? Sometimes I watch Lord of the Rings. Sometimes I watch Jurassic Park. Sometimes I watch the Batman movies, all right? Yeah, it's a bunch of woke bullshit, but I mean, the music, the story, the flow, it's sometimes I entertain myself a little bit in that way, but not by much. But I did buy some of these Marvel films just out of curiosity. It's like, what's the hype? And I wasn't that impressed. I saw Thor Ragnarok, and I was like, this movie sucks. And I saw Infinity War, and I was like, this isn't what I thought this was going to be bad, or like everybody's talking about these movies, but... See what I'm saying? An Endgame, and they got the whole Thanos guy, and his intention is good, but of course humanity hates it because it kills half of them. Sort of a parallel with like the Rapture or something, or half humanity going away. They're making like sort of parallels with that. But then of course they all hate Thanos because of what he's doing. And like the idea is, what this guy was talking about on YouTube, is this whole alien invasion thing will happen. It'll be the New Jerusalem descending, and all of a sudden the news media and all the celebrities, everything will all point their cameras at it. It will be all over our phones, over the screens. It'll be like, it's here, the aliens are here, they're attacking. And then they'll have all sorts of fake false flag events, and they'll like release a bunch of drones, and people say, oh my God, look, it's the plagues from Revelation. The Christians will say that, but then the non-Christians will say, oh, it's aliens attacking us. Whichever way you spin it, it'll work. The Christians will say, oh, it's the frickin' scorpion things coming out of the pits to sting everybody. And atheists will say, oh, God, it's just, they'll say, oh, God, no pun intended, right? They'll say, it's just aliens and shit, and this is crazy. Yeah, we're doomed. Like, everybody will think that, They'll have a bunch of false flags, and they'll show us, like, CGI stuff. Like, look, they just blew up another trade center or something like that. You see what I'm saying? How easy that would be for them to deceive the nations? Because who the hell wouldn't believe that? Most people will. They'll release drones. And some people say they're even making stuff in labs, like mutants and stuff. And they're going to like let them out of the freaking silos. They're going to let them out of the ground. Like freaking Lord of the Rings, like those orcs. But they're saying they've been splicing DNA and just making some weird-ass creatures, So those things will be running around. Maybe they'll make them super aggressive. They'll like pump them with adrenaline and testosterone and stuff, and just some crazy like bear-like creature, you know what I mean? But they'll just say that it's like aliens that came from these ships and stuff, So they'll do that, and they'll do like the drones, and just how easily that would be to deceive everyone. Just like how they faked crap, some years ago, a couple years ago. Remember that? all that garbage that was vastly inflated, to say the least. They got everybody covering up the breath of their nostrils that God gave us when he made us, apparently. Remember that? The breath to the nostrils. And people are covering up their nostrils, saying no. Because the powers of the world tell them to do so. You know what I mean? But yeah, isn't that kind of an interesting thing? I mean, the aliens, the this and that and the third, the millennial kingdom, the New Jerusalem, the camp of the saints, the descending city, the rallying up, Gog, Magog, or whatever, just a war against the saints, man. All right. But what do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to wrap this up. I mean, it's Sunday, so I decided to make a video on God and stuff, all right? But I got other stuff I'm making on that. Like, I had a couple others in mind. Of course, this channel it's not all about that, but a lot of it's integrated, with my other videos and other topics. I mean, it all kind of has it parallels with it all. All right, but I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace be with you.